And here we are, number 11. Welcome to another episode of Burning Time.
Number 11?
Yeah, we are number 11.
How long do I gotta sit with you guys?
Well, probably at least another, 41 of them. We got this account for at least a year, so we're going to push it that far at least.
Nice.
So yeah, because Burr had some special thing he had to go do yesterday. We're running a day behind on this one. So
yeah, but nobody's gonna know because it's gonna be uploaded the exact same time.
No, actually, it's usually up by now.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So, yeah.
It'll still be up today.
So,
I'm sure our listeners will
yeah.
cut us a little bit of slack.
Yeah, all 12 of them.
Right. We appreciate you guys.
All 12 of you.
We're sorry.
Yeah,
this
but
one's
12.
Late.
He said all 12 of us, but like 1, 2, 4 of us is the 12. So all 8 of you.
I'm still gonna say 12 because I'm still proud of you 3.
Yeah, I'm going with the 12.
Yeah, sounds better.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Oh, it's too funny.
It takes a while for stuff to catch on, you know?
Oh, I found out today that I have a friend that's a crime scene investigator. That's the one we were supposed to have on the show that we'll have on now that she's feeling better. She said that I could do a ride along with her.
Oh, cool.
So I thought that'd be kind
Oh,
of
yeah,
cool.
that's
I think
cool.
wouldn't it be?
Yeah. I did a ride along with a police officer once.
That'd be cool
Yeah,
too.
It's pretty interesting.
But
Yeah.
a crime scene investigator,
That-
like I'm hoping to see like a dead body.
Yeah.
Like,
that would be
seriously.
pretty wild.
Like I really think that's what I'm gonna see.
Did you
Because
see? Go ahead.
well,
I'm sorry.
she's working a homicide case today, and so she was kind of showing me the bullet holes in the car and telling me what she had to do and stuff like that. And I'm like, dang, this is so cool. Can I do a ride along? She's like, oh yeah, no big deal. Just get your driver's license and schedule a day.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's not that hard to do.
Was it Lean on Me? Y'all want to see a dead body?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, apparently they found another one over there in Lake Mead.
Mead, yeah.
Yeah, they're up to 4 now. It was like
Oh, you
right
get any
after we.
big
One,
lake like
one
that
of
with
them
water
they've actually
receding.
identified.
Yeah, they've got some DNA on it.
And
or
he
something.
was tied up with the mob.
Oh,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
did you
the-
guys hear about the record-breaking rain in Death Valley?
Yeah, that was wild, dude. They supposedly got like a year's worth of rain in 3 hours or some shit.
Crazy.
A storm that only comes around like once every 1,000 years.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. I actually stumbled across a video of this guy. He was in a 4Runner of all things, but he was driving through and he cited he was going from somewhere in SoCal up to wherever, but you know the path was to go through Death Valley, and he basically went through and it's normally supposed to the route that he took. He said normally adds like 30 minutes to his trip. But it's way more scenic and nice, and the roads were so fucked up that it ended up adding 230 minutes. He pulled out 4 or 5 different people that were all from like Europe for some weird reason. He said there was like a bunch of fucking Frenchmen and Europeans and shit just all
shit.
stuck on this road because the road was pretty much gone. Like, it had been washed away. There was just nothing but fucking dirt and rocks and
Right.
sand and shit. And yeah, and there were
didn't
these
know where they
rental
were.
cars out there fucking buried in them.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
How's that Tesla working out for you out there?
No, Nissan Sentras. A lot of Nissan Sentras.
It's a good rental car.
Yeah, I don't think they rent out a Tesla, do they?
I don't
I'm
know.
sure somebody does.
Maybe.
I don't know. That would be kind of interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, hell, you can rent like a Mustang or a Camaro. And
You can
shit
rent a
like that.
Ferrari here in Fresno.
Well, here in Fresno?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that guy went under.
Mm-hmm.
No?
He parks them out front every day.
No shit.
Yeah. He's got I think 2 Ferraris and some special model Porsche. It's all painted up like in the gumball where they do the number on the side and all
Yeah.
that.
Does he drive them, or are you able to drive them?
No, you can rent them.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah, I know way back in the day there was that exotic rentals place that used to be out there on Blackstone and like Minarets or something. He always had cars parked out in the front. He'd have like a Lotus or a badass Porsche or whatever it was. But I don't think it lasted for more than a couple of years. And he just disappeared.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Maybe it's the same guy and he just fucking.
well, there's that
redid it.
exotic rental place in Vegas. They got a YouTube channel. Have you ever watched that?
Well, we went there.
No, he's
No.
Or
no.
you're talking about the ones where you can actually drive it on the street.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
rent the car and drive it
No.
around. I'm not talking about on the track. Like, you ought to watch their YouTube. They'll do fucking. Some people do some crazy shit in those cars.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. But I think I'd rather do the track rental, personally.
By the way, just pitch Vegas right here for any of our. I know some of our listeners are from across some oceans, and if you guys are ever looking for a tourist destination, you want to come to America, go to Las Vegas, Nevada, because man, you can do just about everything there. We got to
You
ride.
don't think the world knows about Las Vegas?
Evidently not.
You really think there's somebody out there right now that is just like,
There might be.
What?
Las
There
Vegas.
might.
What?
There
No,
might be.
you mean to tell
Art-
me there's this place in the United States that you
Art
can
has
do all
this
kinds of
exclusive
gambling? and-
mind where he lives inside
might
this
be.
box and can't imagine these people that.
Well,
don't
okay, yeah. I
know
mean,
that-
maybe like those tribes that are on that island that chase people off and don't want there. I'm sure maybe they don't know about Las Vegas. So, yeah, you're right. There are some people out there that don't know about it. But
I don't know. There might be. There might be people out there. I want to agree with that.
Also,
I would be more intent to tell somebody if they're going to come to the United States and visit something. I'd say go up to like the Sierra National Forest and look at the redwoods, or
Which I haven't done still. I need to
a lot
do
of
that.
that stuff's in
you've
our
never been to the
backyard.
Redwoods?
Mm-mm.
That shit's
Well,
crazy.
Katie brought it up the other day because we want to bring Kenny, our 5-year-old, and
You're talking about the giant sequoias, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And he's all, we got to take Kenny there, and I'm like, I want to go there. I've never even been there. There's a lot of places in California. I mean, for a lot of years, I was like under a rock, and so
Yeah.
I
It-
mean, I've only been out of that rock for 10 years.
Those redwoods, I mean, you cannot describe how awe-inspiring it is when you see them.
Well, they
I mean,
got
they are
one of
fucking
them.
massive.
I think they actually got 2 of them cut out to where you can drive through them, but you can only
I
drive through one of them.
think that burned down in the last fire.
Is that
One of them did.
Yeah.
It did, yeah. How far away is that? A couple hours from here?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2-3 hours, something like that.
That'd be worth it. Let's plan a trip.
There's a closer grove that you can go to. It's a smaller grove of equally big trees, right off Dinky Creek Road.
Equally big out here.
Yeah, the trees are giant sequoias. They're massive trees, but the grove of them is relatively small.
I haven't heard of those. They're doing weird shit.
I think
It's called McKinley Grove.
What happened?
Oh,
I
I've heard of
think
that.
it just shut off.
Yeah, this camera just beeped.
Yeah, well, okay. I guess I'm the only one today.
Um,
Fucking
yeah,
GoPros, man.
look at McKinley Grove. You can probably find pictures of it, but yeah,
They're big trees.
giant
Yeah,
sequoias,
they're-
Yeah.
sequoias.
Crazy
But there's
big.
only like, I don't know, a dozen or maybe 20 of them because they're trees that need a lot of water, and we're in such drought and have been in such drought for such a long time that they've basically stopped reproducing.
So is it something you can walk through all this stuff, huh?
Yeah.
You just get out and walk through the trees.
yeah, there's
and-
parking lots and little trails. You can go see different
Oh my
stuff.
god, that sounds like so much fun. I want to do that. I'm down to
There's a
that.
couple of them you can walk all the way up to and take pictures.
Oh, cool. Okay.
No, it's really nice up there.
Well, stuff like that would be, interesting to go see.
Yeah. Even there's places here that I've never seen too, and I mean I've been to a lot of places in California, but there's a Instagram channel. This girl, she just goes to different
Mm-hmm.
highlighted places in California, and there's like a lot of rock falls. Like she goes I think it's Sam Simeon's one of them. She goes and takes some pictures in some different coves over there,
Oh.
and then up north from us, there's a couple different I think it's called Angel Falls or something like that. They're popular places, but just some places I've never been to. you
Yeah.
know?
No, I usually, every time I take the trip, it's actually coming up here pretty soon. I'll go up there right below South Lake Tahoe. A little event we go to every year. But when I drive up there, I always try to find like a little side road to take instead of the main highway. It'll add sometimes an extra hour onto the trip, but it's like, I don't really give a shit. I'm not in a hurry to get there. I'm not really in a hurry to get back. So it's like, why not go and explore? And I found some pretty cool ass shit out there.
Yeah. I love going to explore stuff like that.
As long as you don't get lost.
True.
Yeah, GPS. And then,
How'd that work out for you?
Right?
yeah, there's
GPS
one
and four-wheel
time,
drive.
one time.
That's all it
so-
takes is one time.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Makes me think of that Office episode when Michael goes into the water with Dwight.
The
The
GPS told them
GPS
to.
told him to go that way.
Oh, man. I miss that show.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Still watch it. It's on NBC.
Is
They
this
switched it from Netflix to NBC. Peacock.
Peacock?
Yeah.
That Rachel's dad came over and jailbroke our Fire Stick.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god! But the like movies that we were like our options so far that we've seen are, I mean, and I know to expect this, but they're so bad. But they're the ones that they're recording in the movie theater. Someone's
Oh
getting
yeah,
up and
yeah.
walking
It's all the
across the
bootleg
screen.
shit. Yeah.
And I'm looking at Katie like, oh my god, I don't want to watch it this way.
No,
Right?
I'll wait.
So,
Oh, wait, yeah.
have you guys watched Prey yet?
No, not Prey.
No.
No.
I don't know. There's all these people that are talking about how good it is, and I was disappointed with it.
I do want to see it, but I also already expect a very low budget, predictable movie.
Well, see, that's kind of the problem with it. Is it's not, the story's pretty good overall. I mean, like, the movie's watchable. It's not completely terrible. The movie is really not bad storyline wise. It's got a decent story. It's the same basic fucking Predator story across the whole, series. But just the CGI that they used was just lackluster. It was super predictable. You can see right through the plot. I've been saying the best way I could describe it is it reminds me of when like a nice name brand, that you're used to being kind of an exclusive, like a nice name brand suddenly goes department store exclusive. And it just kind of, it's the same, but it's not the same anymore.
Yep.
Pretty much just the way I feel about it.
Yeah, I see it.
We tried to watch Thor. Tried to.
Yeah.
I've been hearing the last couple ones have been kind of bombing.
I heard it was bad too. Yeah, I've heard the same thing.
I didn't like this one as much.
I couldn't even watch it. It was hard to watch with people walking in front of the camera.
Yeah, no, I mean that too, but I don't know. I just
Doesn't that give you like the real theater experience though?
Oh,
no,
yeah,
because
it
it's like
definitely does.
secondhanded. It's like secondhand, so like it's so pixely and shit. And you're like, oh my god, I hate it.
Use 4K, fucker.
Yeah, like what the fuck. My dad warned us, and he was nice enough to like do that. That was cool,
Oh yeah, for sure.
Freaking
Yeah, I've never been a fan of the whole bootleg movie thing. And it's like, I'll wait. I'd rather just watch it, high quality, high def.
Yeah, I think you could probably live your life without watching Love and Thunder or whatever it is.
It's kind of disappointing.
It was really disappointing.
Yeah. Now, what I have heard that's actually really cool to do though is to get a VPN. So,
We have one.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Can you set to your different locations?
Yes.
Do you do that with Netflix?
Not yet, because my dad just came over and just set it up for us.
Okay.
But
yeah,
yes, we can do
you
different
can.
locations.
You can
Correct.
set yourself over, like, it'll basically, Netflix will think you're in the UK.
Right.
And you'll get shows over there that you can't get over here.
So my dad was saying about the VPN. Did you hear him talk about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's shit like, supposedly, like, they're the UK version of The Office.
That's the original, I believe.
That fucking blows the US version out of the water.
I've heard the opposite.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Ricky Gervais is in it, isn't he?
I'd be down to watch it, but I've heard I have to have my own opinion, but I've heard the opposite, that it's not as good.
Well, you've already fallen in love with The Office.
That might be it.
And-
I'm not saying that's my opinion. I said what I've heard.
No, I understand. Those other people may be, influenced by
Maybe
the
they're a
same
bunch of
thing.
bloody Brits. And they're just like,
Maybe.
No, but I've fallen in love with those characters. Dwight Schrute, man, I can't imagine anybody else trying to play Dwight Schrute.
You know his real name?
What's that?
Do you know his real name?
The actor?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
They're not. There's a quote, they're interviewing him, and somebody stops and goes, Dwight. He's all, yes. He's all, you a big Office fan? And they're like, huge. He's like, what's my real name? And they could not answer that. He says, you're not a big Office fan. It's Rainn Wilson.
To really enjoy
By the way.
watching.
By the way, just so you know,
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I don't
certified
know your
fan
name.
right here.
I love
But-
The Office.
but-
love The Office.
You can't tell me people aren't fans that spend time watching the show and make it popular and give him a job to do where he gets to make a lot of money for doing
Right.
stuff that's not very hard.
But they
And
didn't
then
really-
to turn around and tell them they're not a good fan because they don't know his name.
I know. Well, I think it was just I don't want to even know if that really happened. It probably did, but
It probably did.
But I don't think he meant to be a dick.
I know where he's coming
but-
from though, because a lot of things like that, certain people don't feel like they're getting the recognition they deserve from the project. But there's been a lot of times where people have gone to the producers and said, "Hey, I want more money. I feel like I'm worth more than that," and they just kind of said, "No, you can go ahead and go.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's more of a situation of embodiment of the character because, where in his case, it's like he just nails that character down so well that the persona fits him,
Oh,
in
yeah.
a sense to where
Have you seen him in other stuff?
I can't say that I could. I'm sure I have.
You have.
But
You have,
and that's what I'm
actually.
saying. I'm sure I have.
You
but
have. There's been, if you go back and watch movies, you'll be like, oh shit, yeah.
it's kind of like Arnold Schwarzenegger, where he played so many Terminator movies, right? And shit like that, to where he's just this total badass. He's almost invincible and all this shit. And then all of a sudden he goes and does a movie like Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there watching him, like, dive away from bullets and be kind of a normal human being. And you're like, this isn't the Terminator. What the fuck's going on here? What the fuck's Terminator doing? It's like, oh, well, no, okay, he's not Terminator in this. He's just a normal fucking person.
That's
love
called
that movie.
typecast.
I want to watch that movie now.
Kindergarten Cop?
Yeah, I
Kindergarten
do.
Cop. That shit's the best.
I really
want to
watch
the
it
best
now.
fucking movies ever.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
You know what? Kenny's going to be that little kid. Boys have a penis.
Girls have a vagina. Yes, it's totally, yes. Because he knows the words. We've never taught. I always feel
there's
like
no wee-wees and hoo-has.
Well, no, because I feel like you never know. There's a lot of bad things that happen to kids, right?
Yeah, for
so
sure.
like they need to know what the words are. So if something were to happen, they're like, "Oh, they touched my cookie."
Right.
What the fuck is a cookie?
Yeah, exactly.
They brought you had a cookie?
Fucking ate your Oreos. Okay, big deal,
Yeah,
kid.
you have no idea, But if you say the right word, so he definitely knows what they are.
Right on.
Yeah, Katie thinks that's weird.
It is unusual, I'll tell you that.
It is because a lot of parents don't do. They do give the nicknames, right? Would you feel more comfortable with nicknames, huh?
I feel more comfortable without even talking about it.
Your tallywhacker.
Who's going to talk to him about sex?
Well, and
like I told you got to walk in, put it on the table.
Really soon, he is going to start learning the slang names. He's going to go to kindergarten and start talking to other kids that are going to talk about their weenie. And it's like, what's a weenie? And
He's like a Wiedersitzel?
He's
That's
gonna
what
be
we're going to think.
He's going to be like my penis because your vagina's ugly as fuck.
Right. Right. Well, yeah. He's going to learn about sex soon, too. It's coming.
Oh, boy. Yep.
That conversation. And I feel like his whole perspective of girls are going to change. Because right now, he sees girls that are pretty. He wants to kiss them. But once he actually knows what else is actually involved with that and what, oh, Lord Jesus, we're in trouble.
You're going to have to pay attention to them. You're going to have to listen to them. You're going to have to buy them gifts, spend your money on them.
No, that's what I said. Walk in,
Wait,
put it on the table.
Put it on the table.
You want it or not? I'm leaving.
Don't think that works in this world anymore, Kenny.
Yeah, possibly.
I mean, he'll definitely get a result, but I don't think it'll be the result he's looking for.
Well, he needs to go to the next table.
Yeah.
There's plenty of tables in this world.
Yeah, there are.
He hasn't found any at the school yet.
No, not yet.
No.
He will. This kid's got it bad.
It's going to be an older girl. It's going to be in a different grade. She's going to see her.
Yeah, but then he's going to get his heart broke, watch.
He's getting his heart broke a lot.
Yeah.
I know it. He just has a big heart and he loves a lot and really hard. So I already know it. I'm not looking forward to it.
And he's really into girls.
He's really into girls, yeah.
So, changing the subject here. Did any of you guys see the Amber Heard thing? Did you?
Oh,
Was it you that sent it to me?
I think so. I think I'm the one that sent it into the group chat.
So, you gotta give it to Burr. I mean, he kind of called that. I mean, it hasn't came into play yet, but he did kind of call that.
She has
I
to
was
earn money
wondering if
somehow.
he didn't actually petition for it.
Or
He might actually be behind it.
Or maybe I'm just really fucking smart.
Maybe you just know your fucking porn.
knows the demographic there. Huh?
I know what people are gonna do in given situation. You know what I mean?
She has to make money.
Well, technically, I don't think she's actually accepted.
She hasn't
anything.
accepted it yet, but it's been offered to her. But they're offering her $3 million on top of paying Johnny Depp back.
Really? For just one movie?
I thought,
or for like a career?
I think it's a career.
No, I heard something different. I heard that
One
they wanted to
scene?
do a movie. They wanted her to do a film,
Uh-huh.
and they were going to basically pay off her settlement plus donate $1 million to like the Children's Foundation.
Oh
or
yeah, no,
something
you're
like
right.
that.
You're right. Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, for one movie. Yeah, for the rights to.
They
one
just said
movie.
an appearance in a movie. They didn't say she had to do anything. I
That
mean,
much money?
I'm just saying.
I'm thinking there's going to be some poking and
Uh,
prodding going on.
Oh, her life is so over. Oh my god.
She's gonna be
Why
doing
did she
all
do
over again.
this? Like,
Oh, wrong one.
that works too.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it works.
You know that's a beautiful turd.
Really need labels for those things.
Right?
I know, but that did work. That worked.
Look,
good.
I think you guys have short memories, man. There's been so many celebrities that have kind of gone through this similar thing where they ruin their lives by going to excess, and then the only options that are left for them to keep up that kind of money, that kind of being able to make money for not actually having to go out and get a job.
There are actresses that came from porn into movies.
Okay,
But I don't think I've seen any go from being a star in the movies to being into porn.
Yeah,
There's
for example, who? Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, there is Pam Anderson.
Well, Pamela Anderson came from porn into acting.
No.
She came into acting, and then she basically
the thing is though
what's
they
his
didn't
name?
Tommy Lee.
Tommy Lee.
They didn't.
Yeah.
The story is that got leaked.
Okay,
that they didn't make that for distribution.
Of course not.
Okay.
I don't think that's a good example.
What about?
That's kind of why I mentioned that part of it.
Paris Hilton.
Again, same thing.
It's the same situation.
Leaked video.
It's somebody that actually got into porn that decided I'm going to sign up to do these movies. Like that's what I'm.
Kim Kardashian.
No,
it's the same thing still.
I can
The
answer.
exact same
I can.
thing.
I can answer your question.
Kim
for you, though,
Kardashian,
Ray.
Paris. Yeah.
Farrah Abrams.
Who's that?
She was Teen Mom.
Oh, I never watched that series.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
But I remember.
I don't.
She ended up doing hardcore porn after
porn
after being on a reality show.
Yeah.
Okay.
And getting somewhat popular from it.
Yeah, I don't know her. Yeah.
She's not a huge name, but she definitely fits into that category of what we're talking about.
But that's just like one person. Who else would it be?
I can't think of anybody else off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't know.
Get back to you if I can.
Are you looking it up right now?
I'm trying to. I don't know how to look it up.
Don't know how to look it up.
How do you mean you don't look it up?
Only thing he knows how to do is play a Clash of Clans.
Thank
or whatever
God.
the fuck it is.
I'd rather him do that than other stuff.
All right, yeah, you don't want him to have too many skills. On
I
that
know.
phone,
I'm
huh?
like, I'm okay with just Clash of Clans. Hey, I'm
I
fine
Fight
with
your
that.
little dragons, buddy.
Yeah, totally okay with that.
As far as hardcore porn, it may take me a
Hardcore
minute
porn.
to think about somebody, but OnlyFans is something that a lot of celebrities are doing, and I don't know exactly.
There's
Yeah.
girls making tons of money off
Fuck,
feet
yeah, there's
stuff,
this,
feet pictures.
There's a comedian, Karen Bean or something like that, and not the greatest comedian in the world. I mean, I guess she's all right. She's good enough to be, doing specials and that kind of shit. But she has an OnlyFans, and some people tried to talk shit to her one day when she was doing a show, and somebody like basically trying to heckle her about it. And she came back with, I was like, oh yeah, fucking blah 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 blah. I make what was it? It was something like $20,000 a month or some shit on this OnlyFans, and she's like, "What do you make at your job?"
Yeah.
Like $20,000 a month. I'd show people my feet. Look at them all you want.
There's
I don't
a
give
lot of
shit.
There's a post on TikTok about it, and there's a lot of girls that tried to follow what this girl was making and OnlyFans doing feet stuff. And they all came back and said, I tried it and I had it for like a month or two and I didn't make any money because it's a subscription. So you're having to pay too to post your stuff.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
So you're right. 1991, she made her first television debut on Home Improvement.
Yes.
Right.
Who's that?
Pamela Anderson.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then,
Well, you thought she started off in porn?
yeah, no, I thought she started off in Playboy.
No, she did all that after the fact.
The younger sister from Family Matters.
She did.
Family Matters.
She did porn?
She did exactly what I said. Talked about, hey, I want more money. I think I'm worth more than this. They just wrote her off the show.
Oh, agreed. Yeah.
And then she went and did porn.
Oh, I didn't know she went and did porn. That's sad.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of sad things about her, to be honest.
Speaking of sad things, you guys hear about the Anne Heche I think is her name, right?
Didn't
Anne
we
Heche.
talk about that already?
No, we talked about that
No.
without being on a podcast.
Okay.
Yeah. But
no! I found another
Kenny's
article right here.
Kenny's done some porn digging here.
It says,
he's found some-
born in British Columbia, Canada, Anderson was discovered at the age of 22 after was featured in a jumbotron at a British Columbian Lions football game
Wearing a beer T-shirt.
She caught the attention
That's
of the
not
brewing
porn.
company and was
Saying
hired
that
as a
was her first
spokesmodel.
discovery.
Anderson was soon invited to audition for Playboy and appearing on a cover girl of the magazine's October 1989 issue.
Oh, she did start out in Playboy.
Okay.
Boom.
Well, I mean, it's not that big of
All right, Kenny. I'm sorry. I won't question your porn knowledge ever again.
damn right.
Playboy is not porn. That's more on line.
It's a soft
pornography.
porn, but I mean that's what I thought. I always thought she was a Playboy model, then got picked up.
Maybe. Well, I guess you're right.
in some respects. Yeah, I mean, her career was back and forth through that. You know, she was on several TV shows, several movies, and also several issues of Playboy.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, she
Okay.
wasn't on Home Improvement that long before they
No.
switched her out with that dark-haired girl.
I don't
You know
even
why?
remember her
Because
being
she
on
Far
got
better, in
the
my
spot
opinion.
on Baywatch,
Baywatch. Yeah. Yep.
Come on,
which
boobs, bounce.
that's like her iconic role. That's what everybody
Yeah.
knows her for.
Tommy-
Besides Tommy Lee.
Tommy, that made me think. Tommy Lee the other day on Instagram. I saw the article. I didn't see the Instagram post. Posted a dick pic on Instagram.
Broke the internet.
Tons of women and people
he had
saw.
to he had to do one of those double posts, you know, where
Like,
you gotta
nobody's
go to their
seen his
gallery
dick.
and it fucking swipes over.
It's the 3 pictures.
Yeah,
exactly.
Anyway, so it just made me think of that. It obviously
Swipe
it's
up
down
for more.
because I went to his page and it was not there.
Oh yeah.
You got to go to
I-
Twitter for that shit.
No, you can find it on the internet. I looked on the internet. But
I'm sure he didn't have to post that for everybody to see it.
everybody's seen his dick
Yeah.
already. But I just thought it was funny that everybody was talking about it and then it was down so quickly.
Well, supposedly,
No pun intended.
Howie Mandel, not too long ago, Howie Mandel fucking on his Instagram or Twitter, one or the other, posted a prolapsed anus.
What the fuck?
A what?
Yeah. You know what that is?
I don't want to see that.
Say it again.
A prolapsed anus.
I can only think of that as a worn out Goodyear.
No. You remember the whole Urban Dictionary, the pink sock?
Oh.
Okay, yeah.
There you go.
Oh, no.
All right. Yeah.
Feeling good about himself, huh?
Yeah. Well, he took it down real quick, apparently, but there was some YouTuber, I think the H3 guy, caught it before he did and basically clipped it and has been just posting it all over the fucking
I
place.
bet,
Like,
yeah.
Did you guys see this fucking shit that Howie posted?
Why would you do that? If you're Tommy Lee posting a dick pic different,
yeah,
but then
that's
that
understandable.
situation,
You
know
gotta
what I
wonder
mean?
if
Yeah.
his shit got hacked.
That's so sad. Yeah, that's true. It could be bad.
What are you talking about with the Howie?
Yeah.
No. He did it.
He admitted to doing it?
It was confirmed that he was the one that actually posted it.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah. Why? What's
That's
your
so
point?
gross.
I don't know. You'd have to Google it.
I'll pass.
But anyway, the Anne Heche. So apparently they took her off life support, and she has now passed away after getting in that accident.
You see that video of her going past that house, like at freaking.
Yeah. Did you see the one where they were putting her into the ambulance?
Mm-mm.
She fucking
Like,
flips out.
Flips out. Yeah. She fucking like sits up right before they're getting ready to put her in, and she's fucking flailing her arms and shit. And all of a sudden she kind of goes out of view. The helicopter shot.
She has a history.
Oh yeah.
She's
Well,
ended up here in Fresno.
Yeah. Yeah. It was
or
like back
somewhere in Fresno County,
And
somewhere.
2000.
It was all over the news. She showed up just out of like nowhere to some person's house, this couple's house.
Well, and then she was trying to take some kids or talk some people into following her to a starship that was going to take
Yeah,
them
she
to
was
see
freaking
God or
crazy.
something.
Yeah.
She a Scientologist?
I don't know if she was. I know she was a drugologist.
This is the one that on the video that when the car goes through the intersection is just a fucking streak, right?
No,
Oh,
totally
okay.
different.
All right. my
No,
bad.
she ran it into a house.
Oh,
She-
okay,
yeah, she-
Yeah.
Yeah.
The house caught fire.
You could
She-
hear it
yeah.
in the video of it, crashing.
Okay.
Well, they were talking about that she had just left a podcast. and that she was possibly under the influence. And so I was
She had like a ton of drinks at the podcast.
well, did you see the podcast? I found it.
Did you?
Yeah, it was her podcast.
Oh, see.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, she had this podcast with a friend of hers, I guess, because it's called Better with Friends, I think. And they're going to interview somebody from like The Bachelor or some shit like that. So she's in the prequel of it and the post. She wasn't there for the actual interview, I guess. And so they actually pop open a big ass bottle, her and her co-host, presumably champagne. They sit there and they have a toast with this other guy and they drink, and you can tell right away that she is on some shit.
Right.
Like, and I guess I saw some other video that said that something, which I don't know, credibility kind of gets me, because this guy claims that they didn't find any alcohol in her system, but they found cocaine and fentanyl. Fentanyl, however you say that fucking shit. But supposedly the podcast before she left, or even the recording of the podcast, shows her consuming alcohol, or what you could assume would be alcohol, champagne. So it's like, I don't know.
She's driving like in a residential area, which is like 25, right? Like
100
and fucking whatever miles an hour. It seemed like.
I think they said she was doing like 40 or 50 miles an hour down the road, which is
still
fucking flying. Yeah, it should only be doing 20,
really fast.
25 miles an hour.
25 miles, yeah. It's crazy. Well, that's too bad. That's too bad. It's so sad. I know people are upset about that, some people, but like her career was not nothing anymore. So it wasn't like.
Yeah, I didn't even know who the hell she was.
Yeah, well.
Supposedly she was going to direct some movie. Yeah, I don't know.
Not no mo.
No, not anymore. But what's wild about that shit is she obviously had a problem. I mean, you could see it just watching that fucking podcast. It's like the first fucking moment, like within the first 30 seconds of watching her actions on this podcast, like she's fucking loaded out of her mind.
Yeah, that's too
My
bad.
first thought. I mean, just jittery and hyper and like just super like getting in the fucking other chick's face, like, but not in an aggressive way, but just like
she was on something.
Over animated. Yeah, she was totally fucking just looped out of her mind. And it's like, how can you sit there, call yourself a friend to this person, and not do something about it, not say something, not try to get them help somehow?
Maybe they've said something before and tried getting help before and just caused nothing but problems.
I don't know, man. So you're gonna sit there and just pacify it? Just oh yeah.
Some people
let's
do because
this
she's an
podcast.
actress.
Here's some alcohol to go along with your fucking drugs that you just did. And
I
If
agree
you
with
can't beat them, you fucking join them.
I agree with Art that I've been in those situations where people that I've cared about are starting to go down dark paths, and so when those times come, I distance myself from those people. I still care about them, but I don't want to watch them go down that dark path. And if my best efforts can't guide them out of it, then fuck, I need to distance myself from that, because I don't want to sit around and watch.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's just kind of sickening, to me. But it's just like Bam Margera. Yeah, and there's a lot of rumors going around about that dude, and he just did a podcast. Well, supposedly, Steve-O, he's doing a podcast now.
Yeah.
He recorded this a while back, and it talks about, it's Bam Margera on there, but he talks about doing self-administration into all this rehab and all that shit, and like how he's tired of waking up with a hangover every day, and he's tired of all this shit, and he's trying to make his life better now, and he's got no resentment towards the whole jackass thing and all this other shit. And it's like, supposedly there were rumors, and there's actually things going around like free Bam Margera hashtags and shit, saying that the friends and the people around him forced him into the rehabs and were like throwing almost like a Brittney Spears situation, like forced him into this shit. And he came clean on the podcast. He's like, no, this was all self-administered. He was like, I'm doing this all myself to try and get myself better.
I don't know. I don't trust the guy.
Well,
I'm kind of.
Steve-O at the end of the podcast said he basically did a disclaimer, and he was like, hey, look, we did this recording like so many months ago. Since then, he had bailed on the rehab,
right?
But has since gotten back into it again, and it's like seemingly like he's trying to do good and yada yada yada. And so it's like, well, we'll just wait and see, see what happens. But my point trying to go to is, you have somebody like Steve-O who went through the same shit. You know, he had all those addiction issues, but he's stuck by Bam's side through the whole thing, but offered him support. Like, look, you need to do this. You need to do this. Look, I've been through it. You need to do this because look, I've already been through this shit. I've seen it. I know how it goes. And when the shit got real bad and Bam was fucking gone and lost, and yeah, Steve-O, like you said, was kind of stepping away from him and was like giving him his space. But when the times came and it was like he needed help, Steve-O was right there for him. So, you know, why couldn't these people do that for that chick?
Like, I don't know, like Katie says, we don't know that didn't happen.
Well, we know that with the people that were sitting there partying with her at that podcast that it didn't happen.
She might have had a lot of friends around her. Like just because they weren't on the podcast doesn't mean her friends weren't trying to
Well, I mean, not only
tell
that,
her to
but
do something.
does,
You know what
does
I mean?
the
We don't know
podcast
that.
follow her all the way out to the car?
That's why. That's
like,
exactly what I was saying.
No.
You know,
Pretty much
but I
what I'm
mean,
saying.
no.
To be
but-
there drinking with her and know that she's going out to her car to drive herself.
Or obviously knowing that
Maybe.
she has another problem. I mean, dude, I'm sorry, but if you watch this shit, you're like, she's fucking blown out of her mind. Like, it looks like she either did a bunch of fucking meth or just did a fucking half ounce of coke. You know, I mean, just can't stop shaking and moving, and you know, eyes and just everything about it is just textbook wired off her ass. And it's like, how are you gonna sit there and watch your friend do that? You know.
I
Knowing
understand.
they got a
I'm
problem.
understanding what you're saying. I just don't know what happened before and after the whole thing. You
Yeah.
know, there could have been an argument before, and they knew they had to record, so they just went to normal, recorded, and then it ended. And they picked up where they left off before the recording, and she got all upset, jumped in the car, and took off. Could have happened,
Yeah.
or they could have just not cared and got her wasted even more on the podcast and sent her on her way. Or
Yeah.
I don't, you know,
Yeah.
not knowing what happened before and after can't really make a.
No. Yeah.
Might
But
never,
anyways.
might
But
not
anyways.
never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, that basketball girl that went to Russia with the pin.
Brittany Griner.
Have you guys been looking at any of that stuff?
Just that she got sentenced to 9 years.
Yeah.
And that
Are you talking about like what people are saying about it?
Yeah,
Yeah, I have because we've talked about it, but yeah.
like
So what are they saying? Come on.
I'm getting ready to say it if you'd let me talk.
No, come on. Speak, come on. What?
So a lot of people are upset because the U.S. isn't doing nothing for her. But then you look at all the stuff that she did. She did the kneeling during the national anthem at all of her games, and you know she was pretty much against the U.S. on anything.
yeah.
Then she goes over to Russia and gets caught with some stuff that's illegal over there, and now she's crying for the U.S. to help her. It's like,
Yeah.
Well, that's been the irony the whole time.
Yeah.
That, yeah, she's kind of anti-American. She protests about a lot of American values and you know, wants the U.S. to change and be more like some of these other countries that
Until.
that give you 9 years for bringing in
ridiculous.
vape oil. You know, like, yeah, come on now. Well, and I find that to be a problem with a lot of people that don't think through their thought process. Like, okay, here's my idea of what I want, but I'm not going to think through that process step by step and see where it's going to lead me.
Yeah. Well, the funniest part about it, too, though, this isn't her first time there. She'd been there before. I think she had spent like 6 years over there or some shit like
yeah,
that.
something crazy.
Yeah, doing training camps for basketball over there. And so it's like, you weren't ignorant of the laws. You
Yeah.
knew
You
how
knew.
shit
Well,
goes over there.
No, isn't her story, though, that she didn't even know it was in her bag?
I would never put that in my
Come
bag going in
on.
and out of
I
Russia.
think that
Hell
was
no,
her
you
story.
ship that shit.
Yeah, right?
Hello?
Fuck, fucking yeah.
Has anybody
Makes it
learned
through the
this?
mail, I can use it.
Next day, air that shit to the hotel.
FedEx.
Don't ask us how we
Just
know
saying. Yeah.
Straight to my hotel room.
Sitting on the bed waiting for us when we got in the room.
Oh, I have a side.
But that wasn't Russia.
Hey,
Come on now.
Okay,
No,
I
that
have
was-
I have a quick little side story. Just remember what you were gonna say. But I had something shipped to myself one time, maybe not. And they asked me, I was on a trip with coworkers, and they're like, I tried to like hide it. They all went to their room, and they came back downstairs, and I'm getting my package. They're all, what is it? I didn't want to tell them what it was, so I told them it was something naughty from Katie. They thought it was like a vibrator or something like that. Anyways,
Sent
go
me a
ahead.
bunch of Polaroids.
It was something else. Okay, go ahead. I just thought that was funny.
I was like when we went to Chicago.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Went to Chicago for Lollapalooza in 2000.
The funniest fucking part of that, I mean, granted, I don't know if we want to incriminate ourselves too much as far as breaking federal law by doing what we were doing. But the best part was once we were there and we decided to get stoned, we rolled a joint, I think, and decided, you know what, we're going to crack the window open on the room. Fucking plug up the back of put a towel down
Take
by
a towel,
the
put it
by the
underneath
door, crack open this window, and we're sitting there trying to smoke and blow it out the window, and it's not really going out the window. It's almost like stagnant air right there.
Mhm.
It just won't it won't blow in, but it's not actually going out either. And we're like, what the fuck's going on here? We get done smoking. I think we did probably smoke a joint.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
2. I don't know. At least 1. Could have been 2, but it
Could've
was
been
at least
2.
1. Anyway, so we're sitting there like, okay, well, fuck, we got to try to air out this room or something. Maybe if we open the door, it'll fucking suck it out the window.
Oh my lord, you guys.
Nah, yeah, no. We opened that door and it was like a
Vacuum.
out into the hall. Yeah.
Well, at least it's out of your room.
Best
Yeah,
place
yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
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 Let the rest of the hallway. I don't know where that's coming from. It's one of my
man.
neighbors.
Yeah, no, it cleared our room out really
Yeah.
fucking fast.
Yeah.
It
Good deal.
was
Chicago is the wind.
gale force winds blowing through that.
How did
fucking
you guys
window.
send that? Oh, I guess we shouldn't talk about that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious.
Yeah,
Let
so-
me know offline how you guys sent
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I might have to do a little extra editing on this episode here.
Yeah.
Might be some stuff clipped out of this.
Well,
one.
on the way out, we were trying to
Just
get
bleep it out.
rid of what we had
Yeah,
extra.
I'll just like dip it.
Bleep.
And me and Art go walking up to this dude at the back of this box truck. Like, hey, you smoke? He's like, kind of like looks at us up and down. He's like,
no.
no.
Mm.
And you're like, dude, if you smoke, or do you know anybody who smokes? Because I got all this right here left. And he was like looking at us like, what the fuck are these guys doing? Like, we just need to get rid of it. We don't want to throw it in the trash, you know. You know anybody? Well, my brother-in-law smokes.
Oh, here, give this to him.
I give this to him. He's like, no.
No.
Dude, we're going to throw it in the trash if you don't take it. And he's like, for real? Yeah.
Like we're fucking heading back to fucking California. We don't want to fly with it. So
Yeah. He ended up taking it, but he watched us walk off. Like,
yeah, he was a bit nervous. And then
Yeah.
I had a couple of joints left. I ended up giving to that homeless lady.
yeah.
Probably thought he was gonna get caught any time. Like you
Yeah,
guys
that's
just
what
said.
we-
Two
yeah.
white,
That's
two
what it
fucking
probably
white
was.
guys.
And he's
all
probably on
freaking-
his like second strike.
I didn't even
Right.
think about that, but yeah, he probably totally thought we were narcs trying to fucking
Yeah,
set him
that's
up.
why
I
he was
didn't
looking
think about that.
around.
I swear to God, for as smart as Art is, he doesn't think about some obvious shit sometimes.
Sometimes, but still, I mean, it's not like we were trying to sell it to him.
That means he's
That's
not
the whole
smart.
thing about it. It's like we were sitting there like, here, you can have it.
Take it, please.
We don't want no money. Here, just take it. You don't want it? Well, we're just going to throw it over here on the ground. So,
You ever heard of Too Good to Be True?
Yeah.
Remember that's like that check I got the other day.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
a check the other day, and I was like,
A refund for
"Hmm,
something?
What is this for? Is it
Yeah.
legit?
What if I'm
It is for
Nigeria?
access to your bank account.
Yeah.
No, it was actually legit.
No.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
I put it in my account.
Well, no Monday morning.
Oh. Well, no, it was I called the place, and it was for something that I paid way back when, and so
Yeah.
medical bill.
Yeah.
So they're like, yeah, we send refunds for medical bills all the time, and I was like, oh, okay, well,
Yeah, cool. Right on.
there's $200 right there. We'll
More
see how
money.
it goes. If it comes out, then we'll know.
Cha-ching.
More money, more money.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
If not, then that's gonna kind of suck. But oh well.
Shit.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, she's kind of screwed over there. Sounds like for 9 years.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So
She's in the,
we're
what
not
they, what they
gonna
call it, the gulag.
Yeah, the gulag. So we're not going to try and trade old Mr. Merchant of Death for him.
It doesn't sound like we are.
Oh, good. That was some bullshit.
Oh yeah, trading anybody for would be
Yeah, 'cause, I mean,
honestly. I mean, you did the crime, you got to do the time.
dude,
Pretty
yeah.
much.
Yeah, it'd
Like,
be-
before we go do anything about getting her out, why don't we free the American prisoners that are in jail for crimes that are no longer crimes?
Because it's still illegal here federally.
Maybe weed is. There are a lot of things that people are fucking in jail for that are no longer crimes. I'm not going to try to give you statistics. But
Yeah, I know. that's kind of a weird one because it's like it depends on the crime, I guess. Because it was illegal when you committed the crime.
Okay, and now it's
So,
been long
and
enough
now
that
it's-
society has changed their mind about it. So you've been in there, I don't know, long enough for society to change their mind about it.
Well, what if you got arrested and convicted, and then next week was that week that everybody decided to change their mind?
You got lucky.
I was gonna say, how fair is that for the guy that's been sitting there for 10 years?
Well, it's
All of
not
a sudden,
fair.
oh, this fuckwad gets to get out after a week because you guys decided to change your mind. Well, I've been sitting here for 10 years while
Right.
you waiting for you guys to figure this out.
He's getting out too. You oughta
This
just
ain't
be
about
happy.
making it fair between the prisoners. It's about giving them
Equality for all, man.
You're talking about equality of outcomes. I'm talking about equality of opportunity.
Yeah, that's not the way it goes in this world.
Right?
Speaking of Britney Spears, just kidding. It's Britney's.
Speaking of,
Just kidding.
our
Speaking of
favorite,
Britney's, I want
or-
to talk about Britney Spears. We love Britney Spears. We have so much love for her. I think we all do.
she's cool.
She's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's been through a lot. Kevin Federline came out and tried to put out a video recording of her talking to her sons when they were 11 and 12, just being a mom. But he was trying to say that, like, look, she's crazy.
So
you know, she
he
has
was
issues.
trying to make
He
it
was
out to
trying
be
to-
abusive.
Oh
or
yeah,
whatever.
that it was abusive and
That's
there was
bullshit.
problems.
I'm sorry. We
And in
sat
the-
there and listened to it.
yeah,
that's
and
fucking
in-
bullshit.
And in the video, I'll send it to you. Where in the video, she's just talking to him. He's upset. One of them was because he wasn't wearing. No, okay. One of them was because his face was coarse. She said he needed lotion. So that was one of them. And then the other one was. Are you turning down my headphones?
No.
Okay, good. Don't turn my headphones down. The other one was because he wasn't wearing shoes in Alaska, and it was cold. Being a mom,
Yeah.
just being a complete
You
mom.
abusive bitch.
Whoa,
And that's-
now
and so I
you
don't-
can't forget that part though, where she either took away or threatened to take away the phone.
Yeah,
I mean, come on, that's pretty fucking abusive.
Right?
Taking away a 15-year-old's phone.
How can you dare do that?
they're so like the way that they talk to her at 11 and 12. It's so sad. I could tell in the video clips that she's trying to get respect from her kids, and people have treated her just like shit and like a kid for so long herself.
They feel like that's
That
the
they feel like
way-
it's totally okay to
that's the way
treat her that way.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
And so in the video, she's like, "I'm a grown woman. I deserve respect." And like any mom would say, "I deserve respect. You need to respect me." And
Yeah.
you could just tell that she hasn't been getting respect. It's so sad.
The kids are like, "Are you sure? Because I don't see anybody else giving it to you."
Right?
Well, no, what's even fucked up about it is he just brought this out, right?
He just brought it out this last week.
Yeah, and the videos that he's posting are from like 4 years ago,
yeah, it's 4 years ago.
4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, they're 15 and 16 now.
What the fuck? This
Yeah.
was, yeah.
And he's like, I'm not going to be silenced. The truth shouldn't be. It was like hashtag truth cannot be silenced or something like that. Where he's like, I'm trying not to, I want to get this out so the public can hear this about her.
Why would
It's
she?
just so sad.
I
why
want,
would
I want
she
everybody to
cam-
know she's a good mom.
Well, that's the thing. It's like why would she campaign so hard to get the kids to be abusive to them?
It's so
That
sad.
just doesn't make sense. But through the whole conservatorship, you got to watch the documentary. I think
Mhm.
you were the one that told me
Mhm.
about it, and I ended up watching it.
Mhm.
But she was telling them, there were statements. You actually see were written statements. Keep the conservatorship going as far as the money goes. Keep it going as far as all this other shit goes. Just give me my kids.
Right.
Let me see my kids.
Yep.
Stop keeping my kids from me.
Right.
And it's like, okay, so that's all she wants is to be able to see her kids
Mhm.
just for the opportunity to be abusive to them and, be mean to them. No, that just doesn't make sense
Well,
to
then
me.
they've been kept away
You
from
know.
her, so the kids probably think that she doesn't care about them.
Well, I'm sure
And
they've
now-
been pumped full of fucking
Oh yeah,
ideas.
a bunch of lies
Yeah.
and shit. And so now they're 15 and 16. They're teenagers, and they kind of have a right to see her if they want to or not. And now they don't want to. It's so sad. I
Yeah, it
feel
is.
for her. I can't even imagine having. That's probably why she wants to go and have another baby so bad, because she's lost these kids completely.
Yeah.
It's poor Britney Spears, man. Just
One
thing
can
after
only
another.
one can only hope that as they get older and they separate from the other side of the family, just as naturally as adults do tend to, fly from the coop, basically.
And have their own
Drift away.
relationship.
And
yeah.
maybe they can actually develop their own relationship, and maybe they'll see a little bit more of both sides of the story at one point.
They have to drift away, though.
and realize that
Yeah.
maybe it wasn't quite as bad as they were telling us. So.
Or a friend or a.
Yeah, hopefully just something happens to where they actually do get to kind of rekindle that relationship.
Yeah, it's too bad. It's honestly too bad.
I'm still trying to figure out, and I know it's going to be fucking stupid for me to even wonder, but who is the dude that she's dating right now?
He's done a couple acting things. He's a very up and coming actor.
Did they have any previous history?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
Okay. I was just, for some reason, I thought it was one of these people that was in the documentary.
I feel like he
that
is
was
just using her. I don't know. This is my thought.
kind of clout chasing.
Yes,
Yeah.
like straight out. He's very handsome, but like I just feel like he's using that to his advantage to to be with Brittany Spears to have that to be recognized and I don't know. His name's Sam.
I really don't see a lot of them in her posts, though. I'm sure he's the one behind the camera, but
he is, because the last post you could see his reflection in it's him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but she's doing her little dances in her clothes or just dancing.
That's the only
her
part about her
twist
that
and
gets
turn.
me. It's like that shit just kind of weirds me out because it's the same little like sidestep pose dance thing in every single one. You could probably just stack them all on top of each other, and the only thing that would change would be the outfit.
Yeah.
The exact stance, the look, everything. It's just like carbon copied every single time. And I don't know. It just seems a little, it's off-putting in a way.
I have a feeling like someone's telling her, "Oh, these look so good." Like her husband.
Oh yeah, her husband.
Her husband's like, it looks great. Oh, these are going to be such good videos. Everybody's going to love these. And she's like, poor sweetheart's like, "Oh, okay," and just putting these videos out there. I don't know, unless she thinks they're good herself. I don't know.
Think there's going to be another documentary.
I told you guys.
Hope there's an interview.
I think she's mentally unwell.
I think she is still too.
Yeah, she's got her issues.
I think she is still. Yeah, I think she still needs to be going through therapy and whatever she needs.
That's
for
what I'm saying.
herself.
I don't think it's like a chemical imbalance issue. I think it's more of a just like traumatic
The PTSD.
issue. Yeah, almost like a PTSD situation.
I don't know. She could have a chemical imbalance too.
All women have a chemical imbalance.
Oh, that's a good conversation. It's a good segue.
Yeah, it is.
Speaking of a
I
chemical
helped
imbalance,
you with that.
Burr.
Right.
Do we want to get into that though right now? You guys feel like we've been in
Stand up here
about
like
an hour
a pitcher.
and I don't know if we want to.
Where are we at with time?
52, 53, somewhere around there.
That could be a long conversation.
It could be. That's why I said that. But if you guys got at least a half hour to put into it, then
I don't know. I think we got probably another 2 hours left of space on the card. So,
well, I wanted to talk about.
I mean, we can always cut it out if we decide we don't want to add it in there.
I want to talk about mental health in
All right,
general.
guys, thanks for listening to Burning Time, and I got to throw that in there real quick, just in case we want to cut it out. So, sorry, go ahead.
I want to talk about mental health in general. The video you and I watched about the guy in the Jeep going through the cops that just had an accident.
Oh,
and the guy
yeah.
blasted through.
Yeah.
And you dismissed what I was saying rather quickly about him being mentally unwell, that you were like, no, I think it's drugs or entitlement, whatever, da-da-da. And
Yeah.
I don't know any more about the video than what I saw. I don't know the guy or anything, but it made me wonder how many times that happens out in real life, because my grandma is guaranteed paranoid schizophrenic. She's not, it's not a theory. It's a, diagnosis that she takes medication for every day. And if there's a lot, my dad was telling me about his time in jail. There was a guy in there that was paranoid schizophrenic, and the other inmates would be fucking with him, like talking into their shirt collar, like they're talking to a cop.
So
Yeah,
That's
and
not cool.
nice.
my dad took it to heart because his mom is paranoid schizophrenic, and so he's watching these guys do this shit, and he's like, man, leave that guy alone, dude. He's all, fuck, man, if you're doing that to him, you'd be doing it to my mom. How would you feel if somebody was doing that to your mom?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because fucking that's but a lot of people don't know how to don't understand what that is, and then don't know how to spot the signs, and so very often it gets dismissed as something else. Oh, this guy's entitled, this guy's drunk, this guy's whatever. Where no, man, that guy's fucked up in the head and he needs some fucking help. He's mentally unwell.
Yeah.
To a certain degree. Now, the whole thing about it though is, when I'm looking at a situation like that where that guy potentially could have had a mental issue, potentially, there, at least in my eyes, there are certain keys that, little details that kind of make it a giveaway as to which way it's leaning. You look at the guy, he's driving a presumably $50,000-$60,000 Jeep. He's in good-looking clothes.
That's what cars cost these days.
Well kept. How much is your car? How much is my car? I mean,
your car?
My car, yeah, I think I paid, when I bought it, it was like $20,000.
My car was $60,000.
$60,000.
Yeah.
Okay. But at any rate,
What?
he's driving a nice, well-kept vehicle. He's in nice, well-kept clothes. Himself, he is well-kept. His hair is cut and all this other good shit.
How old do you think the guy
He's driving
probably
down
was?
the road, which presumably he has a license.
How old do you think the guy was, Art?
I would have called him into probably mid-30s, maybe early 40s, somewhere around there.
I probably agree with that.
Yeah. And then the way that he responded to the officers when they were talking to him, the way that he was talking to them, showed me he was there, coherent. He knew what the fuck was going on. He was just trying to find a way to get out of it and just to get around shit and, to not be bothered by what's going on. My first thought, he's either high or he's drunk, or he's just a super entitled fucking person, one or the other. And you guys were like, no, it could be schizophrenia. It's got to be schizophrenia. It's got to be all that. Come to find out, though, he was drunk. I want to say they were saying he was under the influence. So he's either high or drunk. So that's just my thing. It's like if I see the guy now, if he's driving down the road, and even if he has that nice vehicle, but, his clothes aren't quite fucking there, something's off on the clothes a little bit. His hair isn't quite made right, or his eyes are kind of darty, or, there's fucking shit all over inside the car when they get up to it, even though it's a clean car. There's just stuff scattered all inside the car, and there's signs of somebody that has those mental things going on a regular basis. Yeah, okay, it could have been mental health.
I disagree.
I do too.
I definitely disagree
mean,
with that.
There is some validity to what he is saying, but there's
Correct.
also validity to what he's not saying.
Correct.
He sees these signs, and okay, there is some validity to some of those signs that you mentioned, but there's this whole other world that you obviously don't know very much about.
Which is good that you don't know much about.
Yeah, right. But people don't show the signs of being schizophrenic from birth. All of a sudden, one day, it just starts happening to them. And so this guy could be in his 30s, just bought a brand new Jeep, just bought brand new clothes, and all of a sudden it starts happening. And so this is his first episode ever. He doesn't know what's happening.
Oh, I'm not denying that at all.
He wasn't slurring his words. I saw no indication of him being drunk. Whatever he may have been under the influence of, who knows? Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. Maybe that was an easy way for them to, put a charge on him. I don't know if he was convicted or anything, but the way that he was talking, it made no sense. He was saying things that made no sense. And when you're talking, you said he was aware and he knew where he was and that kind of stuff. Yeah, he knew enough about where he was to drive his car and shit. Same with my grandma. When she's having episodes, she doesn't forget where she is. She doesn't forget who the people in the room are, but she hears voices of people that are not in the room, voices that she knows of people that she loves and trusts, and they start telling her to do certain things or certain things that are going to happen to her.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't think she's been transported to another fucking dimension or anything. She thinks that her fucking roommate is hiding in her closet telling her that to go murder somebody or, yada, yada.
Yeah.
I come home from a party one night when we were all living together. About 3:00 in the morning, I go pulling in the driveway, and Grandma is sitting on the fucking bus stop across the street. So I pull the car in the driveway, and I get out, and I go, fucking, Grandma, what are you doing out here at 3:00 in the morning? Oh, I'm waiting for a ride. My friend's going to come and take me somewhere safe. The fuck you mean safe? You're here with me and Dad. Come inside. No, my friend's going to come and take me somewhere safe. Again, she wasn't slurring her words. She didn't not know where she was. She just had a fucked up concept of reality. And just like that guy, you're talking about, oh, it's nirvana. It's not about me. It's about my wife and kids. What the fuck does that mean? Where are your wife and kids? What do you mean? It's not about me. It's about them. What he was saying didn't make any fucking sense, but he didn't have any problem saying it. You know what I mean? And so there are a lot of cases, without a doubt, out there where people are being mistaken for being entitled or being under the influence.
Oh, I'm sure there is. I've never denied that.
Well, I just wanted to talk about that on our podcast and get that out under the airwaves so that people can hear us talk about it and understand that if they're making those kind of assumptions out there in the world, that they might need to take a step back and go, wait a minute, there are things out here that I don't understand, and before I start making judgments or start fucking with this guy in jail and fucking, dude, that guy wigged out and they had to fucking take him out of jail and fucking take him to a mental, hospital.
Yeah.
Because those guys all just enjoyed fucking with him.
Which is fucked up, but now I can almost see that to be a failure on the system's part for putting that guy in the Gen Pop in the first place.
What is the system made of? It's made of people that may listen to podcasts. You know what I mean? Those guards made decisions.
It's one of those things that, like, when he went in, and they do a psych evaluation on people when they go in there, and it's like this.
Who does a psych evaluation on?
A
person does.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. What I'm saying is the guy slipped through the crack. That was a failure of the system, which you're arguing, well, that was a person that fucked up. Yes, it's a failure of the system. The guy shouldn't have been in Gen Pop to begin with.
So people need to be more aware of mental health issues and what they look like and how they present and what the results can be of just ignoring them.
Or just ignoring them or straight neglect. I mean, the person taking the psych valve probably knew that person was fucking out of their fucking head and was still like, oh, yeah, let's fuck with this dude.
Yeah.
We'll put him in Gen Pop, see what happens.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, if that's the case, then there are other shit that should be done about that too.
Well, I can't say that was the case for that, but I mean, we all know it's happening.
No, but that's huge. A lot needs to be done about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Case in point, where I was sitting here ranting about fucking Anne Heche's friends.
Yeah,
perfect example.
I was having the same thoughts about it then.
Perfect example.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a perfect example. So I agree with you as far as all this goes. Now, in that one isolated case, I made an assumption on things, and it turns out my assumptions were right. I can't.
I don't know if your assumptions were necessarily right. What was your assumption?
That he was under the influence.
I don't. I don't know.
In the article, it says he was charged with being under the influence.
Right, he was charged with. Because when the officers pulled him out of the car...
So there's suddenly, on this case, there just happened to be, for the sake of argument, this huge conspiracy where they just like, nope, you know what? It's not mental illness. No, we got to fucking nail him for something else. We'll get him for fucking being under the influence. That's it. Yeah, that's it.
The officers decide the charge right then and there when they arrest the guy. They look at him, they dealt with him, and decided this guy's acting like somebody that's under the influence. So that's what we write on the fucking paper when we take him into jail, and that's what he gets charged with. It doesn't mean that he was under the influence. It means the cops made the same assumption you did.
Well, find me an article that says that he was
again
falsely charged with.
I might not be able to. This isn't about articles. This is about evaluating
That's
signs.
a red herring then, dude. That's a straw man argument because you're arguing for the sake of something you're not willing to back up.
I'm completely willing to back it up.
No, because you're using an example but you're not willing to back it up with a fact.
I'll use my
The
grandma
only
as an
way-
example, and I can back up every
yeah,
fact.
your grandma, but that's an entirely different situation because I've never met your grandma and I've never made a judgment on your grandma's mental state. What we were talking about was an article that we saw where a man was presumably, in your dad's assumptions, mentally distressed or having a mental disorder, and I assumed, looking at it, that he was under the influence or entitled. And then we got into a bit of a discussion about it, and I came back with an article that shows this man was charged with being under the influence. And you're saying, well, maybe they made the wrong assumption. Maybe he wasn't under the influence. Maybe he had a mental condition. Show me an article that says, after being charged with this, it was found that he actually had a mental condition.
In
He
order to
wasn't
do
under the
that, Art,
influence.
there would have to be an article. We would have to know that there was follow-up by journalists on that account. And so our listeners know Art is smugly throwing his hands up in the air while grinning because he's got me pinned now because I can't
don't have
provide
you-
an article that doesn't exist because journalists didn't follow up on this thing because there was no interest
There's legal
in it.
records out there. Arrest records are public records.
All right, I'll search on it for you, Art.
Okay.
I'll search on it and find out what the outcome of that case was.
Well, the burden of proof right now is in your hands.
No, I'm
Yeah,
not
it
trying.
is.
Art, I'm not trying to
The
prove
Burr
anything.
done.
We
What?
all know
Burr done.
you already
Approve?
agreed that there are people out there being mistaken for being under the influence or entitled for being. So I don't have any burden of proof at this point. You've agreed that this is a fact.
Hey,
I think
Let's
you
go-
both need
let's
to
go-
smoke a joint and calm the fuck
Let's-
down.
let's burn some time and talk about.
We've been burning some time.
Let's
here.
talk about
I almost threw out an old fucking what was it? Was it TLC or Salt and Pepper who did that song?
What's
Which
the
song?
song?
Yeah, which-
Fucking let's talk about sex, baby.
Yeah,
Let's talk
Salt and
about you.
Pepper.
Salt and Pepper, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It just fucking clicked in my head. Sorry. Anyway, go ahead.
Wow, that was good.
Yeah, burn. Let's burn some time. Somebody.
Yeah. Whose turn is it to burn?
How do you feel about mental illness? Let's talk about the actual subject. Burr.
Me?
Yeah.
How do I feel about it?
Yeah,
I
you
feel
brought
like
it up.
it's extremely important. I think it's more important than most people give it credit for. Can I have that later? If it's not
It's important to understand, is what you're saying?
wellness, having mental wellness is extremely important. It's as important as having physical wellness. A lot of people don't give it that much credit. I think a lot of people that don't struggle with it think that it's just fucking, it just blows in with the wind, man. It's you don't have to do anything. It's
Until
just,
they're around it for a long time.
Yeah.
Until they're around it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I'd say around it, or at least are aware of it.
Because when I first met you, you felt that way, right? And then once you got to see the struggles and what's actually helped me, you've noticed it's an actual real thing. And that actually, that treatment helps, right? Talking to somebody. Medication.
You mean you're not just the
Just making it up.
the rough parts of you aren't just because you're entitled or
No. No.
you're not an alcoholic, you're not under the
Hey,
influence
we're
of
talking about
drugs.
mental illness. We didn't need to burn that time really quick.
Right.
No, I think it's important too. I feel like, there's a whole month of May is for mental illness. And like, I feel like it's super important for us to, I think it's an important topic. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of actors and politicians. There's so many important people out there that struggle with mental illness.
Very rich and successful people
And it's
that have
being
taken
talked
their
about
own
more.
lives.
It's being
Yeah.
talked about, and I do envy the people that don't struggle with it. Like Katie's one that I can say that is totally different than I am, and I can say that I definitely struggle with it, and I'm aware of it, and I know that I have a chemical imbalance, and that there's medications that help. You know,
Yeah,
And
I
so-
think things like therapy need to be normalized.
agreed. I think
You know.
especially for men, because women are known to go to therapy a lot more than men.
Right.
Men
yeah.
are supposed
And
to be
I-
tough and just
I feel like
handle the
men
burden.
should,
Yeah, we
but
just,
then
you know.
there's more suicide with men too, and so I feel like it's important for men to go to therapy as well.
That's a huge talking point when people talk about male privilege, that males are in prison much more. Males take their own lives much more. Males die in the performance of their job much more.
So we deserve that extra 30 cents an hour.
I say, well, fucking couple bucks.
It's
You make daddy a sandwich.
oh, Lord.
You don't want me to go and fucking kill myself, do you? Just go make the damn sandwich.
I'll make you a sandwich.
No, to be clear, I think
Yeah,
that
no,
men and
take
women
that all
doing the same
seriously.
job should get paid the same.
Oh yeah,
pay.
100%. I'm
Yeah,
joking around.
but the fact is that sometimes men perform jobs in greater numbers that pay more, and so when you look at some statistics, man, things get skewed.
yeah,
But
kinda
women
jumping off topic
dominate
here.
some fields like kindergarten teaching, models. Female models get paid way more than male models do. I know some of these aren't, the most necessary jobs. Kindergarten teachers is, but
yeah, but we're kind of veering off course here.
sorry.
Want to?
Mental illness.
I know we fucking do that, man.
I swear, if Rabbit Hole would have been available, that would have been
right.
a way more appropriate name for this podcast. We
But-
definitely jumped down. Some
Okay,
rabbit
that's
holes.
We
just
should- it
kind
should
of a
have been, like,
that's just kind of a
burning
segue
time.
too.
Smoking out the
Smoking
rabbit
or
hole.
something like that.
Things like that. People having a perception that I'm not going to get paid as much because I'm XYZ, and then so that's going to fuck up my mental health even more because I'm a person that's susceptible to that. And we have a lot of time. You see people perpetuating these things. That you're not going to get into this position because you're a minority. You're not going to excel.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I know it's still out there, but I think that shit's like largely been kind of quelled and taken away, or not taken away, but it's faded away a little bit.
Good.
And like I said, don't get me
needs to
wrong. I know
fade
it's
more.
still out there. It's still there, but
in the
but
corporate
you-
corporate world, I don't know.
but you even look at it like people with disabilities, for example. We'll say like autism, people that are on the spectrum. 15, 20 years ago, they wouldn't be out there holding jobs or,
Right.
Being able to have their own places or having the support system to allow them to, lead a semi-independent life or maybe even possibly almost fully independent life.
Right.
There was nothing out there like that for them. Nowadays, they got a fucking dating show. Have you seen that shit? Love on the Spectrum?
No.
I follow a couple from that show on TikTok.
It's
It's really cute.
It is. I'm sorry, but I'm waiting for another season of it. It's I've watched
Rachel,
all of it.
You said something about the corporate world. Is nepotism a thing in the corporate world?
Mhm.
Do people suffer mentally because of that? Does it
I'm sure.
upset people?
That's probably why they don't drug test in the corporate world, because there's more people. Honestly, I mean, seriously, it's probably how they cope with it.
Everybody would be
honest.
exposed.
Everybody would be exposed. They don't drug. I have not drug tested in, oh my God, I can't even think how many years.
You guys are keeping like the Irish cream business alive.
Yeah, it's
A
fine.
little bit of that
They
hot coffee in
they
the
like
morning.
the alcohol time. They like us doing the smoozing with alcohol. I mean, they're all for
have
that
some more
life.
drinks.
Yeah,
Make that customer happy.
Yeah.
but yeah. I mean, yeah, it affects your mental health, I'm sure. I mean, it does. Yeah, it's a lot different in the corporate world.
There are a lot of things that I they're like kind of triggers for me that I feel like 90% of the world just kind of overlooks.
Mhm.
And I'm like, no, man, this is a fucking problem. We can't do something about this. And the people that aren't susceptible to triggers like that, or are not susceptible to having their mental health fucked up.
Yeah.
It's
Mental
just
health
get
is
over it,
it's,
man.
It's a weird one though, because okay, some of the people that you're talking about that say that, that you say don't get it, that haven't gone through it, they're saying just get over it. You can just fucking do this. You can just do that. What you got to actually stop and think about, some of those people might have actually gone through it. Might are fighting a demon at that time, might have something that's not clicking right, and
I
their
agree.
way of dealing with it is
I think we're
brute
all
force,
fighting
you know.
demons. I think we're all fighting some demons. Some are attacking harder. Some are fucking attacking from different angles. Some of us are just not as good at fighting them off.
Well,
But
all I'm trying to say though is where you're trying to say, you know, you don't want to discount somebody maybe having a mental issue and, you know, telling them just to get over it. Well, you know, you're telling them the wrong way because you don't know what's going on. Maybe there are people out there that have gone through it that way and that have dealt with it that way. And so instead of just blowing off what they say and considering them being unknowledgeable about it, maybe consider like, okay, you know what? That's not the way I can handle it, but I appreciate the input. Instead of, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You've never been through it.
or I can think of a lot of examples of conversations that we've had that highlight that if you can relate to something, then you know you should be able to speak in a relatable way. But you know, it becomes obvious if somebody doesn't understand where you're coming from. The techniques that they're telling you to try are techniques that aren't productive. They're coming, you know, from these techniques work for me, you should try them. Then,
Well, I mean, first off, you got to understand, even though you're the one sitting there thinking that, the fact that they're even trying to help you,
Yeah, and say
just
anything.
just that thought to say something like, "Hey, try doing this," instead of getting
And-
angry at them and being like, "Oh, that doesn't
and-
work," just be like, "Hey, thanks."
who said something about even
I'm not,
being angry?
I'm not saying that. I'm just
not,
saying.
not
Yeah,
even
you
angry,
did.
but just totally dismissive about it, saying, well, you don't know how this shit works. You
Yeah.
know, it's like, blah, blah, blah.
Like, you got to.
I'm going through this. I know how this does.
Let's
That
stick-
just doesn't. No, you say, look, you know what? Hey, I appreciate the input. And you in your head know, okay, that's not going to work for me. But that person is still trying to help you, right?
They care enough to say something.
Maybe,
Which is awesome. That's
and
a lot
maybe
of people
that,
don't have that, and that's huge.
Maybe that is that person's way of trying to cope with something that they're going through.
Let's, instead of talking about maybes, if you are in a position that where you've been that guy, speak on what you're talking about. But we're being all this vague and bouncing back between different people's experiences. We were talking about, we started this by talking about a person that I believe is schizophrenic because I have experience dealing with a schizophrenic. And I felt like you were dismissive of that. And now you're coming at me because I was dismissive of some advice.
No, I haven't come at you at all.
Okay. So you kind of
How are we doing on time?
Well, we're well over an hour.
Yeah, maybe we can finish this conversation next time.
Yeah. Well, there might be some stuff to cut out, so we may end up being chopped down to about an hour. We're
Okay,
at, we're
cool.
at like at 120 or
Sounds
something.
good.
All right. Well, since Rachel is tired of hearing Burr go back and forth with me, yeah, so I guess we're gonna call this one where it is. But
Number 11.
Number 11, and you know, we would like to just drill down though, real quick. Mental health is very, very important. If you
yeah.
need help, seek it out. There are plenty of places to do it. Don't feel like, you know, you're how would you put it?
By yourself.
You're not alone out
You're
there.
not alone.
It's
So,
easier said than done, but know that people out there do care, even though you feel alone. and
I
that
care. I
they're-
care about you.
Right. We
Katie
all care.
cares about you. So if you need a hug,
Don't call me.
don't call Katie.
Don't text them. All right, you guys have a good week.
Bye,
and,
everybody.
we'll see you next week.
Burn some time.